Hey everyone, good morning. So it's officially February, which is Black History Month. And I know last year Zelda was like, you should do a Black History spread. And I was like, I don't really have a deck that features melanated people or black people. And I have decks that feature black people. Like there's some black people in them, but I'm just like, wow. Anyway, it's my birth month. So I have a friend who's born on Halloween and she celebrates all October. It's literally her birth month. And this year I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that too. Um and then I forgot to plan. Um but that's fine. So today I'm going to get back on the job search stuff and start responding to emails again. After that last interview, I just kind of sort of took a break. So I was like, it'll come to me, it'll find me. I don't have to, worry too much. But I want to secure that bag. That's what people say. I want to secure that bag. Um, and also, I don't want to get into a habit or a practice of not responding to emails because that reflects poorly on me, and that's not what I'm about. Also, I don't want to just let them build up. And so this morning, I could have slept in. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get me some breakfast. I had some cereal, some Special K. First, I had the chocolate one, and then I had the almonds one. And I don't usually like almonds, but I like almonds in cereal because it makes it taste fresh or something like that. And I watched some luxury apartment tours on YouTube as I was eating my cereal, and I'm just like, I'm feeling good. I'm enjoying it. Definitely loving the vibes. It's my birth month. Um, Also, I'm gonna get back into Japanese because I want to do it. So I'm gonna give myself this year things that I want that keep on giving back or that better me in some way. So also going to get into cooking more. Um, because I keep buying vegetables and not really using them. Like carrots, I keep buying carrots by the bag and then I throw them away and then buy a new one. Now I open them up before I take them out the plastic that they're in so that they have a chance to break down in a landfill if they somehow make it out of the trash bag. Oh no, I was just dumping them in. Instead of putting them in the trash bag, I just go in the back and dump the carrots in the thing. I'm like, well, hopefully these can give back in some way. Uh, um, and there's also I forgot that I was doing it. I didn't remember until it was like midnight last night. I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing that. But there was a gene therapy webinar for I think it was for rare and incurable diseases that I saw on LinkedIn. So I went ahead and I signed up for it, and I'm excited for that on the 10th. And those are the things that I have for now. Also, I'm going to crochet this thing that I've been meaning to crochet for like 2 years now. While it's winter time and it's could be appreciated. And yeah, I went looking for my AirPods yesterday. Didn't find them. I moved stuff out of my room. I took off the mattress. I flipped up the box spring to see if it was under my bed because it's kind of tight against the wall. It wasn't. Under my bed is actually fairly clean. I'm surprised. I was like, whoa, I expected more stuff down here. But that's because that was my last experience with under the bed. And I'm not, things are a little cluttered, as you can see. But in general, I'm not as messy as I used to be. Now that my mind isn't as messy as it used to be, you know? But yeah, also this week, my mom issued a positivity challenge. And I said I would take it up. So if the readings are a little different this week, that's why. Even though it's not necessarily negative to call people out, we're going to take a positive approach. So, shouldn't be any chili peppers. Watch like 3 chili peppers pop up. We're not doing that. And so I didn't find my AirPods, but I did get to rearrange my stuff a little bit. And so it feels a lot more open in here. And I don't like this whole recording situation is different. I don't know if you can tell that my laptop is raised a little bit. It's actually elevated because I turned something on its side. And so it's a little taller and a lot less wide. But anyway, that's the energy that I'm coming in with today, I guess. Let's get into this. So we had the 6 of Pentacles last time. Today, oh, the King of Cups. What? The King of Cups. Y'all, he's a merman. Okay, or the Zaddy of Cups. This is interesting. So the King of Cups is an interesting card. He is the most emotionally intelligent, I guess, of the kings. He's a king typically closest to feminine energy. Well, yeah. Because the King of Pentacles can be a little, because earth and water are feminine elements. But we typically, stereotypically, gender conformingly, societally, that's the word. We societally attribute the emotions to feminine energy, right? So he's the one that's in tune with his emotions. Now, it's not always a good thing. What I guess it brings a question to mind, because there's this question of like, can you be in tune with your emotions but still, like, for a dude raised in society such as here in America, can you be in tune with your emotions but still express them all through anger? And maybe the question is yes ish. Because I know a dude, and I've talked about him before. He's a grand water trine. He's triple water. He's a Pisces sun, Cancer moon, Scorpio rising. And I thought that his Mars would have a stronger placement or would be more prevalent, or that his moon or rising would be in a fire sign. No, it's Scorpio, so ruled by Mars. But, and when I think about it, it's like, well, a lot of dudes express emotions through anger. And I was like, oh, okay, well, then that makes sense. And so that's where I guess there's this question of like, is there a difference between, I guess, like feeling your emotions and being in tune with them? And I'm tempted to say yes. All right, laptop, make some noise. It's a Poseidon energy, but there's no trident here. And so since the trident isn't here, I'm tempted to say that it is emotionally in tune. He has the cup instead of like the cup and a trident or whatever. If the trident was here, then maybe I would be more tempted to be like, oh, it's expressed through anger. And that's not the case. Also, we don't really see his tail. It looks like he's coming out of something. And so maybe this is a brand new ability for us to interact with our emotions in a way that we're not, I don't want to say misrepresenting them, but it's a little bit of an energy of a misrepresentation, right? Because like if you are sad, but instead of you portraying sad, you portray anger, or you portray joy because you don't want people to know that you're sad, then it is a little bit of a misrepresentation of that emotion. It feels like he's like coming out of a Dark Knight energy. More present with himself, more patient, more in tune. And I keep saying he and himself because it's the king. It could be anybody. But I think it's the king because there is a certain element of emotional mastery. And emotional mastery isn't us like having control over our emotions necessarily. It's us being able to feel our emotions and honor them without being consumed by them. And there's also this energy of like no longer needing to fight battles that like have no victor, or engage in like lose-lose situations. And again, it's like it's a lose-lose situation because there's nothing that you gain from it. There's no resolution that would be reached. It only like takes away from you when you engage with it. But maybe we do because of how it makes us feel emotionally or something like that. We get a little triggered. We get hurt. We want to hurt somebody else. It's like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that no more. I'm done with this. Like, yeah, why? And I think that's it. This may be, I was kind of sort of feeling the beginning of a new chapter. This may be it. Now, with the Six of Pentacles backing this energy, I think that would talk about kind of sort of what I was just talking about, right? It's like when someone hurts us, and then we're like, well, now that you hurt me, I'm going to try to hurt you. It creates this cycle that's not great. And emotionally, I feel like it muddies things. Like it muddies those emotional waters. And so instead of doing that, we just decide to kind of sort of step back and separate from it. It's like we act in ways that are more peaceful, that are more aligned to whatever it is that we wish to experience, and then we receive that. And even when we don't receive it, we give it, because when we give it, we'll receive it. Also, there is a certain level of spiritual warriorship here, coming into the faith and the trust, and coming into maybe a mindset similar to one that I'm describing. Um, but it's in a serene way, right? Like it will fight when it has to. Excuse me. But it's like, it's just an energy that can't be bothered. But it's not that it can't be bothered in a passionless, cold, and disconnected way. It's just really good at maintaining its peace. And it can still be present, and it can still give when it needs to. Oh, snap! I ain't got notification about that in a minute. I'm excited. Happy birthday month to me, right? Scorpio is empty. Mars is in Taurus. So right now, Mars is in one of Venus's homes, right? So Mars could be taking on a more scorpionic influence in Taurus, I guess. Could be. Um, Also, it should be squaring some. Oh, Venus just moved into Aquarius. And so Venus and Mars just trined. When Mars was in Taurus, Venus was in Capricorn. Now they're going to be squaring as Venus moves through Aquarius. So I almost wonder if Venus is going to be taking on a little bit of a Libran influence, and it isn't an air sign. And if Mars is going to be a little more Scorpionic, potentially. Ooh, this a lie. Hold up. Oh, there we go. So Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, the Sun, and Mercury are all in Aquarius right now. And then the moon is going to join them in like 10 days. Mars is 12 degrees Capricorn. 12 degrees Taurus. Venus is like 0 degrees Aquarius. So that square is still a little bit off. But I feel like Mars and Venus have been doing this thing for a minute now, where it feels like they're beginning to learn to understand each other, or to recognize the power of the other one. And so maybe this is. I just like, I love it when it makes that noise because it's so random and so unexpected and so different from all the other noises. Like, I don't use the McDonald's app, but I don't know. um, it feels like they're trying to understand each other. I need to tear off to the weekend on my calendar. And so this is masculine energy understanding the power and the impact of emotion when properly interacted with, right? And I say properly because, again, like, we're not going to punch something when we're sad, and punch something when we're happy, and punch something when we're upset, and punch something when we're mad. It's like there is more than one way to express emotion. But societally, a lot of dudes are conditioned that most of those ways aren't as acceptable. But this, it feels like an emerging energy, this King of Cups. It's mostly formed though, like the only thing we don't see is its tail. And so um, there could be a little bit of like you have mostly good days, but every now and then you have you slip up, and that's fine. We're human. It's practice. You practice it, you get better. Right? You practice letting stuff go, and you get better at letting stuff go. And then, maybe it becomes a little funny. Maybe not. Maybe that's just me. My Mars is in Cancer, so, Anyway, um, I feel like that didn't make any sense, but that's fine. That's what I got. It feels like there's this new emotional power and understanding coming into being that's different than a feminine approach to an emotional power. Because on this side, this is what it feels like. I know that this isn't necessarily real life, but it feels like a lot of times with feminine energy, it might be more reactionary than proactive. like more reactive than proactive. By that, it's like the situation, like a situation happens and then there's a response. But with this energy, it's like there are these emotions that I wish to feel, or there are these things that I wish to see. I'm going to engage this space of emotion to motivate me to do it, rather than like a situation happens and then I'm emotional and then I respond. It's like I get emotional about something and then I do something. And in that way, it sort of runs parallel to the suit of wands. But instead of it being like a passion based on wandsy things, it's a passion that comes from the space of emotion. And it's like, also, it's again, it's an energy of coming out of like a dark night or coming off of a tower, which in that way is a little reactionary, but it causes us to be proactive in establishing healthier boundaries and establishing different, like a different community, different relationships, different ways of engaging, where we don't even have to sort of be in that space in the first place. Like if there are people who only, it's like they derive some sort of like pleasure or satisfaction from upsetting other people. Like that's their thing. That's their personality. Oh, my personality is that I'm being nice and positive. I mean, it is what it is. It's like it's their personality to say something rude and offensive just to get a reaction out of people. And if that's something that you're cool with, that's fine. But it's like if you're the type of person who actually gets upset and you know that like there's someone who does that and takes pleasure in it, then it's just deciding, you know what, I'm not even gonna do it. I'm going to put myself in a better space. And so a lot's been happening to get us to this King of Cups space. And I feel like the Queen of Cups can be a little too compassionate, in the sense that I think sometimes it could be more difficult for her to form healthier boundaries, because she'd be like, oh well, like, but they don't have anyone else, and like, what if they need me? And King of Cups is like, I care for you, but I also have to care for myself, and you're not going to cross my boundaries. That's not going to happen. And again, it's not cold, it's just sort of emotionally responsible, right? Like if you're responsible for your own happiness and well-being, then there are certain things that like you probably shouldn't do just for the sake of your own emotional well-being. Again, like engaging with someone who only tears you down. And you can with the king, it's like there's like you still hold the love that you have for them, but you hold yourself separate enough that those things don't affect you as much. And it may be unfortunate that someone that you care about can't seem to support you. But the more you practice that, the more you give yourself permission and the opportunity to attract into your experience and to surround yourself with people who are encouraging, who are supportive, who you can be open and vulnerable 100% with, who won't put you in those emotionally compromising situations. Like it's something that you create. And something that like you create essentially because that's like if it's not that, then you move on. I don't know. Excuse me. This is a gorgeous energy though. It's gorgeous. It feels like one that may take a little It feels like one that has to play out though. And then when you get there, it's like, oh, this is what it was. Yeah, this like I love this. Like peace. It's like I can engage with people and still feel like good and tranquil and serene or like happy. Like I can feel more of the positive emotions instead of the more negative ones. Or I can make more positive associations instead of making more negative associations. And I feel like it's this place that we're being led to and guided to spiritually. Because while it is possible to hold a frequency, even though you're surrounded by other frequencies, it's easier to maintain when you're surrounded by people who are loving and caring and compassionate and supportive. And it's what you deserve. So act like it. Treat yourself like you deserve it. But yeah, that's what I got. It's a little short and sweet today. I hope you have a good whatever, whenever. And I hope you are acting. Ooh, excuse me. I might treat myself to some birthday month coffee. I'm just playing. Coffee does nothing for me, unfortunately. My mom is the same way. Caffeine, energy drinks, coffee, they don't do anything for me. But I'm going to get up and I'm going to move around. I might step outside for a little bit. Get some snow on the ground. It's pretty. Get some brisk air filling these lungs. I'm about to yawn again. Whew, excuse me. I was about to say it and then I yawned. I hope you have a good whatever whenever you see this, and I hope you're acting in alignment to make that which you wish to experience your reality, because it is possible. It just may require some work on your part. And the King of Cups is definitely some work on your part energy. But he works with spirit. He's guided. He's open. And I think the King of Swords and the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles all have their ways of going about things. But the King of Cups, with that connection to his own emotions and to spirit, I feel like he can take a path that doesn't require as much work. Because it's focused. Because it's guided. Instead of it just being like a general effort, it's more concerted. I don't know. All right, bye. Catch y'all. Excuse me. Catch y'all whenever I catch y'all.